Today I become a man. Today I'm going to try and learn Advanced Squad Leader. Well, kinda. It's a starter kit. This is starter kit 1, which is just infantry and some kind of light machine guns and that kind of thing. So the rulebook for this is about 20 pages, and in the box you get everything you need to do the 6 scenarios, as I say, mostly involving infantry. The proper big grown-ups Advanced Squad Leader rules though, that is 200 pages. I cannot remember 20 pages, never mind 200. So I need to take things a bit at a time. So I'm going to start with this. This is kit 1. I've already done turn 1. So I'm not going to explain the rules and all that kind of jazz because I'm still learning it. So I'm just going to leave it running while I go through a turn 2, just to show you roughly how it works. There may well be, shock horror, some mistakes in this video. I will be incredibly surprised if I don't make at least a dozen screw ups. Probably in the first couple of turns. But here's how it works. Well, when I said turns, I should have said sequences actually. It's a whole bunch of sequences. And at this point, the Germans are the attackers. So there's going to be a whole bunch of sequences. Germans are the attackers. These guys. Then all those sequences will be done again, but this time the Americans will be the attackers. So at this point, Germans are the attackers. If I say attackers, it's German. Defenders, American. And then confusingly that will switch later on. First phase is a rally phase. A rally phase is if anybody is kind of broken and could be brought back to life miraculously somehow. None of that's happened yet, thankfully. You'd also remove, again I don't have any yet on there, but there are these DM counters. These would get removed if there was any at the end of this turn, or turn sequence rather. Let's see, next one. Prep fire phase. Prep fire phase, let's see, is where the attackers, the Germans, they get to fire at full strength at the American units that they can hit. The whole thing works on line of sight, so these guys cannot hit these guys because of that building. They can't hit these guys because of that building. And so on. These guys could hit these guys, but they'd be firing through hindrances and so on. So we need to look at the Germans and see who can they hit and do they want to actually go through with it, because in fire phase, prep fire phase, if you fire here, you cannot move later on. So the only people who should fire here are people who don't want to move. These guys are a bit in the open and should probably move. So they're not going to fire. These guys are quite happy there. They're not bad. Undercover. They've got a building. These guys can still technically go for them. These guys couldn't. So they're quite happy where they are. But these bits here with the yellow, you may not see it very well, but I've marked a kind of yellow disc under these. The 4 yellow discs, the Germans want to be a good unit, not broken, in one of those 4 hexes, there and there. If they can do that, the Germans win. The Americans want to keep the Germans out of those 4. So the Germans want in there, Germans want to keep them out of there. Part of the scenario is up here as well, that the Americans are going to come in from the north, which I've marked it with that arrow is north. North is down here, so the Americans are going to come in here and obviously make their way down. Germans are going to come in from the east and come in. They can come in anywhere in the east. Right, back to what I was saying. Do we want to move? These guys are not really fussed with moving. They're quite happy. These guys definitely are. They're in a building, but they're a bit middle of nowhere. I want Germans in here. But any Germans here are going to have to try and fend off the Americans coming in from that north edge. I reckon certainly these two guys could stay put. These guys, kind of need to move because they're not going to get to hit anything up here because of these two buildings. There's another building there. So they can't see crap up here apart from something that's right down that middle line. So they need to move. These guys could stay where they are, so they could make a fire on these guys. This guy is a better target. He's not in a building. They're in a building. They're in a building. So I reckon these two guys should start taking pot shots at these. There's two guys here. Oops, I should put that leader on top. These guys could take a pot shot at there. Got a better chance. It's a possibility. Let's do it. Let's do it. So when they fire, they are going to get one of these prep fire markers. So these guys, let's say, they are going to fire on these guys. Clear line of sight except for this bit, which is called an orchard. That is going to add, bring in another dice, it's going to add 1 to whatever we roll. The one that they're in doesn't count, so that's fine. These guys are a 4 strength, so they're going to roll in the 4 column on the giant infantry table, or infantry fire table. 4 column, there's only a 1 for that, not in a building or anything. These guys haven't moved, so we don't get any bonuses for that. It's a bit of a shame. So, I need to roll 2 dice. 6 plus that 1, 7. On the 4 table, 4 column, 7 is pin task check. So we get to check and see. Oh, in fact, tell a lie. We get a -1 for that leader. So it's actually only a 6. Nearly made a mistake in the very first roll. Good God. NMC, a normal morale check to see if they break under pressure of the whole shenanigans. So that guy's an 8. Roll 2 dice. If he gets greater than an 8, then he's broken. Means he can't hack it. And he spectacularly gets a 4. So he fails that morale check. And he now becomes what they call broken. The other guys are a 7. Ooh, they get exactly a 7. Let's see. Oops, and I also have to give the guy who's broken, he also gets one of those DM markers. Let's see. Need to make a dice roll that's less than or equal to the morale level, so they just make it with 7. Just and no more. So they make it, but the leader is broken. Not a good sign for them. Okay, they have done their bit. Done. Now these guys, they still have that a CX marker there from last time, which they need to keep until the next phase. So they're going to get a +1 right away. Let's see. They can fire for these guys or these guys. They're in buildings. These guys, I reckon we go for them again. What the hell? So another +1 for that. These guys, in fact, I never checked the firing range on those other guys. 6. Yep, all good. These guys are 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. So they're going to roll in the 4 column as well. We're going to go for these guys. They get no bonuses or anything. So we're getting +1 for that orchard. No leader there. Right. 4 column again. Ooh. 3. Okay. Usually the lower the value, the better the result. But, you know, we do have the +2 there. 1 for that, 1 for that. So, gives us a grand total of 5 on the 4 column. A morale check, +1. So these guys have to roll, again, morale check, but they get 1 added to it. The result. Again, it's a 7. Incredibly lucky. So their final roll would be a 5. So they're still good. The leader is already broken. And I don't think anything else can happen to him. If he's already broken, let's see. Let's see, a unit that rolls original 12. No, an already broken unit that fails an MC suffers a casualty reduction. So, okay. A leader, although a leader can't do a casualty reduction because there only is 1 leader. So he may end up getting bumped off. I am not sure. I'm going to leave that one. But this guy already has an incredibly bad chance of passing. Let's see if he would, just for the hell of it. And he gets a 4. The DM thing only comes in a rally, as it says there. So he got a 4, so I'm going to say that he just stays broken. Not entirely sure for that one. So leave it at that. So they have also fired. I'm going to leave that sticking out a bit because I need to remove that. These guys, do they want to move? They could move and fire later, but if they fire later, it'll be half strength. Tricky. If they move, well, actually, they could move and fire, and they'd still pretty much be the same strength. When you're adjacent, you can double it. Okay. This guy needs to stop being in the open. This guy's okay in a building, but I would quite like him to move. So, gonna leave it at that for the prep fire. No point in anybody else firing. They'll just get stuck, and that'll be bad. So, prep fire is done. Movement phase. Movement phase is the next one. We take these off. These guys, don't need them. Prep fire stays on. And reinforcements can come in. And this is for the attacker, so it's the Germans. Let me see, there is definitely, yep, these guys. These guys are going to come into play. They're going to come in on the east edge, which is down here. So, where am I going to put them? I'm going to need people here to stop these guys and the inevitable more of next turn. But I still want to take these bits. If I move across here, I'm completely open. And here, still a bit open. Ideally, I want to make a run for here. So I think I'm going to come through here. I think that is about the best idea. So, let's see. I'm going to put these guys here. I think I will put another one here. And I have one more and a leader, which I think I will put. I don't want to bunch them up, because if you bunch them up into nice little stacks, they just get completely mown down. I'm going to move these guys to here. The other unit and the leader can go there. The whole idea is these guys up towards these houses. That's the plan. Right, so they're going to come in. Let's see here. Right, so German attackers, they can move, but as soon as somebody moves, the Americans get to have a look and say, right, can we shoot the living daylights out of that guy? Right, they get 4 movement points. If they're with a leader, they get 6. Right, so these guys will get 6. And the woods here are an obstacle. So, should give us some good cover, in theory. Because we can creep behind here, they can't see us, and it's all good. So these guys are going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and obviously I'm playing both sides on this, so these guys can potentially get a hit in. So these guys could fire. They can only shoot a range of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It would be a long range shot, but they could take a shot down there through that orchard if they wanted. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. They've got to pause because these guys could fire. Do they want to fire? I would think, I don't know. Would they fire? Would they fire? Would they wait? Would they see these guys in panic? Let's say they panic. So let's say they panic. I'm going to put a marker on these guys. They've still got enough to get them into that hex, which is where they're going to go. But these guys are going to panic and they're going to open fire. Defensive fire. Defensive fire. Where are we? They would use what's called first fire then, which gets them this snazzy little token. And let's see, they can fire. Yeah, so they would have to fire 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they'd have to go long range, which halves the 7 down to a 3.5. They can do assault fire, and I think you can do assault fire here. Doesn't actually mention it, so I'm not sure. Am I allowed assault fire? I know I can use assault fire later in the advancing fire phase, it's called, but I'm not sure about here. It doesn't actually say I can't, so I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. 7, because they're going to go long range, that gets half to 3.5. 3.5 gets rounded up to 4. I'm going to keep count of this. 3.5 gets rounded up to 4. So they would get a +1 for using their attack. So that'd be a 5. So they'd be firing in the 4 column. So they're going to be firing in the 4 column. Additions, they're going to get a +1 because of that orchard. They're going to get a -1 because we didn't use assault movement. So that's a 0. So there's no add-ons to the dice. So they're in the 4 column. And they get a 7. 7 in the 4 column is pin task check. I don't think there's anything else to get added on or taken off. I don't think, because I don't think that edge on the forest counts. It does for an orchard, but I don't think it does for a forest. Because that would be a +2 if it was. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say it never cut through there, it went down the edge. I'll let them off with it. I may be giving them a bonus. So these chaps, in fact I tell a lie, they get a -1 for their leader. So that's actually a 6. It's getting worse. So it's a normal morale check for these guys, it would seem. Right. Leader first, a 9. He gets a 6. All good. These guys are an 8, but they get a -1 because of that leader. They also get a 6, which becomes a 5. So they pass. Thankfully, they pass. Whew. Right, these guys get first fire marker, and these guys are going to finish their move into there. These guys could maybe see them, but they might clip that building. Ooh. That's a tricky one. If the American did say, I'm going to fire, we would have to check. If I check and the string cuts that building at all, then that still counts as a fire. So do they take the chance where it might hit the building and fail? Time to get the magic bit of string and see. I need to go middle of the hex to the middle of the hex, try and not cover things up, make a mess of it. So from there to there, and it may not look like it on the camera, but that does hit the building right on the very corner. Try and get that to show up on the camera, but it may not. You may end up seeing the shadow rather than the actual string, but it does clip the building right in that corner and that corner. So no dice, America. Nice try, but you fired and your bullets whacked off the corner of that building. So still counts as a fire. Hard cheese. These guys can't see anything. They probably, they might be able to fire, but again they might hit the corner of that building. So the Americans are thinking, no, not going to take another chance. Okay, so these guys have moved, done and dusted. In fact, I'm going to mark these guys moved. These guys got a good opportunity to move because these guys can still fire again, but they're not going to be as kind of powerful. But if I go right up against them, it would double it. I don't know why I do that, because if I go there, then they would get half the doubled, so they'd be back to where they started. And that'd be good for them. So, gonna leave him. This guy definitely needs to move. He is going to go 2 into that building. Again, this guy, if he wanted, he could try and fire, but he would be as well waiting. He could fire on either of these two because they're closer than this guy. Does he want to? Don't know. Nah, he's going to wait and see if anybody creeps up, then maybe go for it. Yeah, we'll leave this guy here. So they have moved. These guys are going to try their luck and try and use the cover of these to maybe go this way. But then these guys are going to fire on them. Ah, right, okay, these guys are going to move 2 to there. These guys can open fire on them if they wanted. So they'd probably be as well. But then there's still these other 2 guys here at the bottom. They're still to move. Okay, they're just going to wait. No, they're going to fire, because even if these guys come in, these guys can't shoot through that building to get to here, so it's pointless. This guy could maybe open in these, but this guy is going to open fire on these guys for moving. So we don't get a leader bonus on this one. Yeah, that's a bit of a downer. These guys are in a building, so they are going to fire. We are not in a building. Oh wait, we are in a building. Yep. So they are going to fire at us. It's going to be +1 through the orchard, +3 for the building. So it's going to be a +4 in total for these guys. We're in the 4 column. Ah, but wait. Aha, hold on. Wait. The German, or the American, can only fire 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, so he'd have to go long range. So, no. I'm going to say he's going to hang fire and wait to see what these guys are going to do. These guys, which is a kind of a cheat, I shouldn't do that. When you start going through the motions of it, you're meant to finish it, but I'm still practicing. Give me a break. So that was 2 to there. If they step into there, they're definitely going to get shot. So they're going to skip to here, 4. And that's them moved. They could go another 2 because they've got a leader, but yeah, they're not going to push the luck. If they move to there, they're going to get shot with these guys. If they move to there, they're going to get shot with those guys, and they don't have enough to get them in there, because that's 4 to there, that'd be 5, and they'd be stuck. Right. These guys are going to move. They are going to try and keep in the trees. So 2 to there. Oh, in fact, that's something I never thought about. They're in trees there technically. Does that count as 2? Or does that count as 0 because they're starting here? I'm going to count it as 0. So 2 into there. These guys can't shoot them, can't see through those trees. We're going to say these guys pop out here, at which point these guys are going to go, whoa, 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 what's going on here? There's Germans in the bushes. They can only fire 3. 1, 2, 3, so they have to use long range fire. Better put a marker on that they've moved. I don't know why they don't give you move markers, it'd be quite handy. If they fire, they have to go long range, which would half their movement and make it barely worthwhile, but what the hell, we'll say they panic. They're going to go long range, so they're going to have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, so the 3 gets halved to 1.5. And, oh, wait. Oh, I knew I forgot something else. Just popped into my tiny little brain. These guys are going to get a first fire marker anyway. But I forgot to put residual fire markers. Ah, crap. I don't remember which ones got shot at, but they should get one of these, maybe with a 1 or a 2 or whatever on it. And I forgot to put them. Ah well. I think they get taken off at the end of this turn or sequence anyway, so I'll try and remember them for next time. Honest. They only really count if somebody else goes into that hex, so it's still going to change the rules or screw anything up. Honest. Yeah. Right. So, yep, 1.5. They drop to the 1 column. These guys are in the trees, so that's going to get them at 2, I believe. There's another 1 because they didn't use assault movement, which is fair enough. They're not in the open, so that's alright. So ready, they've got a 3 on this roll. Anything over a 6 or over is a nothing. So the only way they can get anything is if they get 2 1s. And they don't. They get a 5. So, complete miss. That was in the 1 column, so that wouldn't get one of those wee fancy flashy markers. These guys, way down here, they're going to have to move. And I'm actually thinking of not bringing them in here. I think I'm going to bring them in here instead, where they are in the comfort and safety of that little wooden house. Now, in theory, these guys up here can also fire on this guy if they wanted, but it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it would be long range. They could do it if they wanted, but we'll say that they just wait. These guys could fire again, but it would be utterly pointless, because it would be 1.5, it would be halved to 1.5, and then probably end up getting halved again. Be absolutely useless, and they'd have to go through these 2 fields, hexes, so useless, pointless. These guys can't see crap for that building that they're in, so that's done. So those guys have moved. They can sit there. They can creep in later. These guys can't do anything. These guys definitely need to move because it's just getting silly. They're hiding at the back. So they are going to move to this building, which is 2. These guys are obviously going to spot them and they're going to open fire. Right. These guys are in a building, so straight away that's a 3. These guys are firing through the edge of that orchard, still counts. That's a 4. I believe, as I say again, I believe they can use assault fire, so I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. So it'll be 7 to 3.5 up to 4, plus 1 gives them a 5, so it's a 4 column. And this is the rules you get from only 20 pages. Imagine if you get 200 pages of rules. It'd be nuts. Right, 4 column for these guys. Can't think of anything else that should be added or taken away. Oh, wait, 3 for that, 1 for that is 4. Plus 1 because they didn't use the assault move, which really I should have, because they only went 1 hex. Screw it, I'm taking it back. They used assault move to go from there to there. Right, I'm cheating, but I don't care. I don't care at this point. They used assault move to get there, so they don't get any bonus for that. 3 for the building, 1 for the orchard. 4. Right, and they're in the 4 column. They got a 5, so sorry, a 6. So that is 10 in total. No chance, absolutely no chance on a 10. So they do their first fire, and as an example, I will show you that they were in the 4 column. You half that to 2, so a residual fire of 2 goes on there. If anybody moved in there, they'd be taking the bullets that are still flying back and forward. So, forgot it for these ones, but that's what should have been done. Right. Nobody else on the German side is going to move. So that is pretty much it. There's other stuff that I never used. I might use that later. Right. Okay, let me take all these off because that is the end of that. Right. Movement phase is done. Right, next one is a defensive phase. Right, defensive fire phase obviously applies to defenders, which is Americans. These guys can all fire. Let's see, they can fire, and that would be as normal. These guys with the first fires, they can only fire at half firepower. But let's see, units marked with, yeah, but these guys can only fire on people who are adjacent to them. So these guys can't fire at crap. These 3 guys can still fire though. Let's see, they can fire, so they're probably going to fire at this guy. Probably going to fire at these guys. It's inevitable. Where are we? Defender fire. Nope. Right, so these guys are going to fire. These 3 are inevitably going to fire on these guys. If they wanted to, they could use all 3 of them in one go in a fire group, but they're not going to bother. They're just going to fire on individuals. Why not? What the hell? Extra practice for me. Building, they're in the building, they're in the building. Right. Their leader is not going to be doing anything. He's the guy that's kind of broke. So these guys are all good, but 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So these guys are kind of out of range. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. So these guys are kind of out of range. Whoever fires at them is going to have to use long range fire. So initially, these guys, we'll go that way. Initially, these guys are going to fire on these guys. That's within the 4. They're going to use assault fire. So that gets them back into the 4 column. These guys are in a building, so that's a 3. There's nothing else. The whole assault movement, open ground thing doesn't count at this point. So, yeah. +3 on the dice because we're in a building. Right. They get a 7. 10 in the 4 column, no chance. Had it. So these guys are marked final fire. These guys are going to fire on these guys, we'll say. Right, they're in a building. 1, 2, 3, 4. All good. Again, 3 for the building. 4 column again. Assault fire, all that jazz. They get a 9, which is also nothing. So again, final fire. These guys are not going to bother shooting at them. They're going to shoot at these guys instead. No point going long fire, long range, when you can just go for these guys. Same again, 3 for the building. 4 column. Oops, I tipped that over, but it was a 6 again. So, yeah, not the best of luck. Not the best of luck. Final fire for them. And pretty much that's it for the defenders, because they've got nothing else. Let's see. Yep, that is it for defensive fire. Never really got anything. Never got anybody much. These can all come back off again. The prep ones stay on. And I believe that is it for defensive fire. Advancing fire phase. Attackers, Germans get to fire, but it's all going to be at half firepower. So that's a bit of a downer. Does specify that you definitely can use assault fire in this one, which, as I say, I've been using it anyway most of the times. Right, these guys definitely want to fire. Definitely want to fire on these guys. They're going to be in a 2 column. They're in a building. So that's a 3 right away for that building. Nothing else in between. Oh. I just realised that I don't think you can use long range or assault fire in a long range attack. And I might have done that once or twice. Oops. Okay. These guys, we're going to fire on these guys. They're in the 2 column because everything's halved. And they got a 4. So that's a 7. 2 column. No chance. Not a hope in hell. So they've fired. These guys are going to do the same. They're going to fire on these guys as well. Same again, 3 for the building. Oh, geez, that's even worse. 10, so it's 13. Absolutely nowhere close. Right. These guys can go 4 of a distance, so there's absolutely no point. If they go long range, it would be even worse. Nah, not even worth it. These guys, they can go 4. They can go assault fire. But can they actually hit anybody? This is where I need to think, do I want to risk it to get to here? because I could try it, end up hitting a building here. Okay, gonna go for it. Gonna go for the bit of string. And this is where we see, is it gonna work? And looking straight down on top of it, it will just work and no more. It passes just the edge of that building right there. So this is legit. I don't care what it looks like in your video. It's legit, honest. So these guys are going to open fire on these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, so that's legit. They are going to use assault fire. So, right, this is where it gets tricky because I have to half that again. So we're going to go to 2.5, round up to 3, plus 1 takes it to 4. So they're going to be in the 4 column, and they'll get a bonus for the leader if nothing else. I think that's right. They're going to get 3 for the building. Yeah. So whatever we roll, it's -1 because of that leader. 9. Yeah. Yeah, well, that's hopeless. Absolutely no use whatsoever. Couldn't hit the proverbial barn door. It's the end of that idea. So much for that. These guys, they could do the same. That's definitely legit. Definitely legit. I'm going to check it anyway, just in case, but it's legit. Yeah, totally legit. So same again, 4 column, 3 for the building. Because again they're going to use assault fire. Okay. More 9s. Nope, no good. In fact, hopeless if anything. 1, 2, 3, 4. These guys could fire, but firing through 2 of those fields gives it another +2. That'd be a 5 when you count the building. They would be in the 4 column. They would need to get a 2 to get anything. So it's pointless. Let's just not even waste the bullets. No. These guys can't obviously get this guy because of the building, but they can get that guy through that orchard. 1, 2, 3. They'd be in the 2 column. It's no good. 3 for the building, 1 for the orchard, 4. If you're in the 2 column, again, I would have to roll 2 1s to even hope to get a result. Nah, not even worth it. And the 2 prep fire guys can't do anything. So that was completely hopeless. It was a completely hopeless advancing fire phase. Oh well. Oops, they come off as well at this point. Done. Right. Nearly the end of the German side of things. The rout phase. Anyone who's broken well, should be so lucky. I think it was only this guy. He's broken. He needs to run away to either woods or a building. And he can go 6 movement, I think it is, factors. An orchard is only 1. And then he's going to be in there. So, oops. Take that away, you don't forget your marker. So, these guys are now without a leader. He needs to go and recuperate. And last section, I think. Yes, advancing fire phase. The attacker, Germans, can move all good units 1 hex. 1 measly hex. Do I want to move these guys or adjacent? These guys, certainly, they can go in there. I'm still wondering if I should risk it, move these guys up to here, put some right out in the open. Both these guys could shoot at them. Nah. Nope, not doing it. These guys, I could move them to there. Orchard doesn't give them much protection, but they still be protected from these guys through that building, but these guys could move next. And now I'm going to leave this guy. Going to leave this guy in the woods. No, should I? Should I put this guy in the building? I was going to put that guy in the building. I'm going to put that guy in the building. What the hell? He's going to stay where he is. He's quite comfy. These guys, I'm thinking these guys can move in here and sneak up towards these guys. This could go horribly wrong, but I'm going to chance it. These guys can stay in that building. In fact, no, those guys are going to stay there. Because there's going to be American reinforcements. If I move them to there, they can't fire to crap because of all these buildings. Same with these guys. So no, they're going to stay there. They're going to stay. Okay. There's no close combat because we never moved into any hexes. There's no pin counters to remove. Whew, right. That is it for 1/2 of turn 2, because that's only the German side of it. Now I need to do the American side of all of that.